Welcome to my channel, World of Forestry. Today we are going to discuss about fingerprints. So, what is a fingerprint? Fingerprint is basically an impression of the fingers, which consist of series of ridges and grooves. How fingerprints vary from person to person, and fingerprints can be classified based on class characteristics and individual characteristics. These class characteristics and individual characteristics are based on the bridges that are present on our fingers. Dactylography and dermatoglyphia. The scientific study of the fingerprint is called dactylography. Now, dermatoglyphia. In some persons, they have rare skin condition in which they are born without any fingerprints. This condition is known as dermatoglyphia. They do not have fingerprints from their birth, and up to their death, they do not have any fingerprints. Classification of fingerprints based on the class characteristics. We can classify fingerprints into four basic classes that are the loop, the arc, the wood, and the accidental or the composite one. The first kind of fingerprint is the loop. In a loop, the ridge enters from one side, recurve, and touch an imaginary line between the delta and the core, and then exit from the same side only. In loop, there is only one delta and a core. Now let's see how a loop looks like. Now here make drawing. This is how a loop looks like. Okay, it enters from one side, and let us have this as a finger, and then the loop enters from the side, makes a card, and make the exit from the same side. There you have more ridges like this all around, also ridges in between. Okay, then uh, the loop is mostly found, and it is about 60 to 60% of the fingerprints in humans. Now, the Henry classification loops are of two types. Okay, the radial loop and the ulnar. The radial loop, the ridge enters and makes the exit from the and towards the radial bone of one's hand. Now, or we can easily say from the little finger towards the thumb in our hand. And the ulnar loop, the ridge enters from the ulnar bone side and make that exit towards the same side, or in other words, it can be said from thumb towards the little finger. Now, this center part is called the core. Okay, let's make write as C, and the deltas are present somewhat like this. Okay, this is called delta. And one thing, in loop, they had is only one delta and one single core only, and the full rest of the finger is filled like this. Okay, um, like this. Now it is the arc type of finger. So what are arcs? The ridge enters from one side of the finger and exits towards the other side of the finger without any recurving. Okay, so it's like here it this is the finger. It enters from this side, makes and then returns from the other side. Means exits from the other side. Going on like this, the prints are present. Okay. Now, in this type of arcs, there are no deltas or cores. In the population, only 5% of the fingerprints are arced. Now, we can divide the arc pattern into two categories. That is the plain arc and the tinted arc. So, what is the plain arc? It is the type of pattern which begins from one side of the finger and then the ridge flows upwards marginally and ends on the other side. Whereas in tinted arc, it is similar. to planar, that is begins from one side of the finger and glides to the opposite side. The basic difference in these two types of fingerprints are that in planar the ridges are continuous, but in dented arc the ridges are not continuous. Now the whole pattern. These are like spiral or circles. They have a center and they move out from the center towards the outside in the fingerprint. In whole pattern, they have one core. This is the core, and at some point of the finger, there may be one or two deltas. Like this, these are moving. They are here in this picture. This is one delta. This is one delta. You may find more also, more deltas in whole. But there is always one core and one delta present. Within the population, there is 30 to 35% of the fingerprints are of whole type. Now, the accidental or composite type of fingerprints. In that type of fingerprints, there are two types of prints, like the basic three types, which are the arc, loop, and the fold. Two of these types of prints, or maybe two same type of prints, may be present in one finger, like double loop, where two loops are present but in opposite end, and twine loop, where two loops are present in same direction. Here is one type of fingerprint where two loops are present in opposite direction, one from right to left and one from left to right. Okay. Only 3.1% of the population have this type of fingerprints, that is the composite type of fingerprints. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. In the next video, we will learn more about fingerprints.